All right, boys, so I put out a poll and I'm still kind of laughing a little bit at it that we're even doing this video, but I was like, you know what? You get these smash and pass series for like all of these other mobile games and everyone else does this for, every other community of thing, right? I was like, why am I not doing it for FGO? Like, this is literally the waifu game, but I was like, you know what? Before I'm like just being really dumb, let me just do a poll and see if anybody would want to see me even do this. And it was like 89% to 11%. Like, it was overwhelming. Like, yeah, you should totally do something like this. And I'm like, you know what? We can all get down to talking about the main reason we actually play FGO, and that's the waifu. So I've got all my sabers here because, I'm going to go by class because I don't want to do like a 3-hour video. It's more for my own sanity of having to not do all of the waifu characters at once, because I think at a certain point I should be like, dude, just throw them somewhere. I don't even care. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. We have, obviously the Smash column, which I think kind of speaks for itself. Pass speaks for itself. This one right here, these are for people that I'm like not sure about, right? Like, these are the ones in the middle that it kind of depends on what day you were to ask me. Like, hey, is it a Wednesday and I'm feeling pretty good? You know what? Maybe I'll give this one a shot. Or, maybe it's a gloomy Tuesday and I'm not just feeling up for it. They're just not hitting like they usually do. You guys definitely know what I mean by that one. But yeah, we're going to do this today for today's video because NA and JP are a little slow right now. But if you would like to see more videos in this series, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for that sweet daily FGO content, and also comment down below, what Saber is your favorite wifey character, because I'd actually like to see if there's any like consistency. Like, I'm gonna wonder if like people are just gonna like win out with Musashi or something. Give me your top 3 in the comments. Be like, Musashi's my number 1, followed by Ibuki, and then I don't know, maybe Lakshmibai is your sleeper 3rd hit. But yeah, let's just go ahead and start getting into this. I will say I'm gonna try to keep it as ordered for like the ones that I like up here. For the past, I don't really care, they can be in whatever order, but I'll try to keep them ordered in some way of like who I like more, but I'm assuming that's just going to fall apart pretty quickly. But yeah, starting off right at the beginning, we have OG Artoria. Like, who doesn't like OG Artoria, honestly? You might be able to say that it's kind of like the basic Fate wifey choice, but it's kind of like the basic vanilla choice for an option. It's just really, really solid. But like any vanilla, the chocolate is usually always going to be better, right? When you start adding a little bit of spice to the mix, you start to get a little bit of a better product, right? So like, I like Artoria, but Saber Alter just has a little bit more going for her, right? She's got the drip going for her. I feel like Saber Alter is portrayed a lot better in FGO, whereas Artoria really has not appeared in any main story chapters as her Saber form yet. Her interludes are very nice. I like her in those. She seems pretty chill and relaxed in those. But Saber Alter had all of Shinjuku, right? And she was the first main villain. And even when she was like the first main villain, she was kind of chill. Like, she was pretty vibey with it. She was just like, you come beat me up or I get beat up by you. Whoever wins, wins. Like, she's like, I just want to finish the Grail War in Fuyuki. I don't really care who actually takes the Grail, but I'm just chilling. So I definitely love Saber Alter a little bit more than I like Saber. You might notice if you've come out to the streams that my Saber Artoria is grailed, and I immediately regretted that after I read all of the FGO story. I was like, man, I grailed the wrong Artoria. I should have grailed Saber Alter. So once I get enough grails, I go back and I'll probably fix that mistake. But Saber Lily, I have to give a pass to that one because that is literal baby Artoria. Okay, we ain't hecking around with that, all right? But then we have Nero. Nero, I kind of see as literally just better Artoria, right? It's like thick Artoria, dude. Especially because Fate Extella, Fate Extra CCC, those are some of my favorite just Fate content in general. And every time that I think, oh, maybe Nero's not as good as I was thinking, like maybe Nero's a little bit more mid, I go back, read Fate Extella, and I'm just like immediately fall in love with the character again. I mean, Nero kind of just takes everything that I may have like an issue with of like Artoria being maybe a little dull or not super energetic or anything, and Nero just takes that and throws it out the window, right? She's like such as like a bubbly character and very just like nice to kind of be around. Like, I feel like you can never be sad or depressed around Nero, right? Like, I don't think she would allow you to be sad, which I think would just be really, really fun to be around. Maybe she could be a little overwhelming or something, but I don't know. She just seems like she'd be really fun to hang out with. I also noticed that Nero Bride is here. I'm just going to keep them the same. I kind of just grabbed all of these Saber images, and I forgot that they just have these as 2 separate people. But I'm gonna keep them there. Altera, I do really like because of Fate Extella, but it's less of me liking the design of Altera and more just really liking her route in Fate Extella. It is my favorite route of the 4 that you can play in that game. And maybe it's because we don't have, say, Altera's nurse outfit that we did get in Fate Extella. Like, if we were to get that in FGO, maybe the tides would change a little bit, but even then, I'm not sure, because I do legitimately like Salter and Artoria a lot. So I don't know if Altera could take it for me. This would be like a different thing. Like, this could be like, depending on the day, she could be here or here. But generally, I will just like Nero more than I like the others over here. Daeon, I'm going to put in I'm not sure, because I know that Daeon could be whatever you want because of the interlude, but that's not even the issue for me. The issue for me is that I don't know how much I actually like Daeon's design, but it's not enough for me to pass on it, but I can't give my guaranteed seal of approval, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't just be like, yeah, 100% would always, because I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I really like the design, and other times I think it's kind of mid. I don't know. I'm very flip-floppy on Daeon, so that's kind of why I have this middle tier over here, because I don't want to just pass on them, but I don't want to give them the, like, guaranteed seal, especially because Daeon doesn't even have like a lot of the character stuff for me to go off of, right? Like, Nero I think is really cute, but she makes it really high because I really like Nero's character in a lot of the games, and that gives her a lot of extra bonus points on top of her being an absolute cutie pie. Daeon just doesn't have that. Like, she just doesn't have that for me. She kind of just exists, you know? Like, they don't really do much for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just kind of like a servant that's there sometimes. So yeah, that's why they're going in that little mid section over there. Okita is like my favorite Saber face. I absolutely love Okita. I already liked her because of FGO. And then Fate Redline came out, and they were like, we're not only going to make Okita even more adorable, but we're going to show why she's an absolute menace to society. Like, there is a reason that people are scared of Okita as a swordsman, and Fate Redline shows you why, because she is a menace, but she's a menace that is really cute. And so, you know what? I can just work with that. I can absolutely work with that. Okita's another grail target that I have on FGO. If I wasn't saving my grails for Morgan, I'd probably be grailing Okita right now. Like, it's Okita or Kagetora that'd be getting my grails. And, you know, when we get to the Lancer section, Kagetora will also be relatively high. Then we have Mordred. So Mordred for me probably goes around, probably not above Nero, actually. Probably like in the middle of there. I do like her a bit more than Artoria. I don't know if she can really beat out Nero, but I really like Mordred a lot because of her story in Apocrypha. It's one of the few things that I think Apocrypha actually has going for it, is the story of Mordred and Shishigo, because it kind of starts off with Mordred being like a little angsty person, a little upset at kind of just generally everybody, how you'd expect Mordred to act. But as the story goes along, she slowly starts to kind of move on from that conflict she had with Artoria, and by the very end, she's kind of like completely accepted and moved past it, and that's why in stuff like FGO, now when you see current Mordred, she's trying to like make up with Artoria, right? Like, even in Summer 1, you see that Mordred's like, hey, Dad, let's, you know, throw the old beach ball around, and then Artoria's being mean, because I guess also admittedly, maybe Artoria is not ready to move on from her destroying her entire kingdom, but at least Mordred herself has kind of moved on, and seems like they kind of want to rectify things, and I like that a lot about Mordred. Mordred also just gets a lot of like really good costumes as well, whereas Artoria normal doesn't really get them. Saber alters Shinjuku outfit, might give it a little bit of a run for the money, but I think there's the fact that I just like Mordred more than I like Saber, even at face value. Shiki, I'm not actually sure about, because this is the God Shiki, and I feel like I'd be like, hey, Shiki, let's go get some Haagen-Dazs. And like 2.5 seconds into saying that, my entire existence would have already been decoupled. And like, I know the rest of these servants are strong, but they're not like actual God over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like Okita, yeah, she's a little dangerous, but I think I'll be fine, right? Like, I don't think it's going to be like, oh yeah, we're like, hey, let's go to McDonald's and I just get deleted out of reality. I think Shiki could just do that by accident. You know, like, if I don't go take out the trash, I feel like I'm going to get deleted, bro. Like, I'm not down with getting deleted. So it's like, it's not that I hate Shiki's design. I think Shiki just actually scares me because they're God. And I'm like, bro, if I don't wash the dishes, I'm about to get deleted. I'm about to get sent to the root real quick. But yeah, that's why they're going in kind of the middle one. She's more here because how risky am I feeling on that day? You know, how willing to risk my existence am I on that particular day? Liz, complete opposite end of the spectrum. I just do not care for Liz at all. I don't really like her design. I don't really like Liz in any story. The only thing I've ever felt for Liz was pity and Fate Extella's like Tomoe story, because I just kind of felt bad that she was getting bullied a lot. But even then, didn't really care because I just don't like Liz. Like I don't know what it is. I just find her really annoying. I just don't like really anything about her. Like, I'm just not a fan. I just do not care for Liz at all whatsoever. Musashi. As you guys know, I'm a huge Musashi enjoyer, but I'm not sure, like... See, the reason, like, this gets really hard between, like, Mordred and Musashi for me, because while I like Musashi's design a lot, I like Musashi's character a lot, it's kind of like her stories haven't been the best, right? Like, her real main thing that she's popped up in is Shimosa. And while I do like Shimosa, it is kind of just like a bunch of fights back to back to back to back to back. It's not like there wasn't like a whole lot of depth in that story for me. But you could say the same thing about Apocrypha, I suppose. But then that's the funny thing is like, okay, well then we can look at like the Lost Belts, and they both appear in some of the Lost Belts. So it's kind of like, whose portrayal do I like a little bit more? I guess maybe Musashi. I like her. I feel like she does a little bit more, and so like I would like her a little bit more over Mordred, I guess. But can't like her over Nero because I absolutely love Nero, and Okita's my favorite Saber face, and that's going to be very, very hard to top. Then we have Suzuka. I'm not gonna lie, she's kind of going in the mid one because it's how much am I willing to deal with the Valley Girl speak? I'm not sure. Look, you guys know I love me my Tomoe. I love me my Fox wifeys. But Suzuka sometimes can just get on my nerves with how she talks, right? There are some days that I can put up with it and it doesn't bother me at all. And there are other days where I want to jump off a bridge trying to talk to Suzuka. I'm like, please, Lord, make it end. So she's going in the mid one because I don't really know if... It kind of depends on the day of how much I'm willing to deal with the Valley Girl speak. Okay, Frankenstein, she has to go in pass, but that's just because I feel like I would feel mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't smash Frankenstein. She's too, like, sweet. She's too not... Especially the Saber version of Frankenstein, dude. You can't, bro. She's too sweet. She's too much of, like, a sweetie pie. Plus, I feel like Moriarty would fold you inside out, right? And he's a mathematician. He knows how to do that, right? So, one... She's already got people that would just turn you into an omelet if you were to like do anything. And two, you shouldn't want to do anything anyway. She's too nice. Too nice. Don't do that, bro. Come on. Be nice to Frankenstein. You give her a head pats or something. You can give her a hug. That's about it. That is now ZTL law. I'm laying down the law, all right, boys? Lanling's very similar to like kind of just depending on like how I'm feeling, because I'm like, it's not like I don't like, I think, well, the same thing would probably go for Astolfo as well. It's like, how much of the bussy am I feeling on that day? Not believe that is something that just came out of my mouth, but it's like, how much am I feeling the gamble, right? How much am I willing to go in on a certain day? I feel like Astolfo probably gets a little bit more leeway because it's Astolfo. He's like the original dude for that. But Lanling, I don't think is like that far behind. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. Depends on the day. How risky is your boy going to get? Benny Enma, bro, she is like 2 foot tall. I think I don't know about all that one, Chief. Plus, she's like a bird. Like, I don't know, how does that work, bro? I don't know about it. Too many complications. It's like a literal baby man and is a bird. Too confusing. I don't know, bro. Lakshmibai, I know that she's a Jean face, but I'm just not the biggest Lakshmibai enjoyer. I was a little more high on her when she first came out, but as time's kind of gone on, I don't know, I'm just not as like feeling it, you know, as I was when she came out. Like, yeah, it's a Jean face, but she's not Jean, she's not Jalter. It's just not the same. You can have the face, but that doesn't make you, you know, it doesn't trigger my John simpness. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really do it for me, so can't. I'm sorry, Lakshmibai. You're a nice lady, but I can't do it. Hokusai. Hokusai kind of depends, because she's an Eldritch Abomination person, and again, very similar to Shiki over here. I don't know how much I really want to risk that here. I'll group them. There we go. We can group those guys together. The people that may obliterate my existence, and then actually, I just don't know if I want to put up with. I'm putting you in pass, actually, just to like diversify things out. But yeah, it's just kind of like, how much do I really want to risk on getting my existence deleted by like the Eldritch dude? Plus, she has like the octopus dude following around all the time. I don't know if I could deal with that. That might be a relationship deal breaker for me, dude. Dioscuri, as much as I like Pollux, dude, Caster is just too much of a spurg for me being able to deal with. That is like, it's just a deal breaker. Because Caster, like, he just comes with Pollux, and dude, I don't want to deal with it. That dude is just all over the place. Don't even want to remotely deal with him. So they're going in pass. Like, too much trouble for me. Especially because look at this. We have all of these like really good options up here. Nah, bro. And you're coming with this weird brother thing that you got going on. Nah, bro. I'm gonna have to take a fat pass on that one. Tomoe, we should have all seen this one coming. Tomoe's going up there, very top of the smash, bro. We absolutely love Tomoe around here. I've already grailed her on the NA version of the game, and I'm working on doing it on the JP version of the game because we absolutely stan our girl Tomoe. It's the one thing that might actually get me to spend Saint Quartz before Morgan comes out for Lost Belt 6. I am really trying to take like every fiber of my being to not summon on the Summer 5 Rerun Part 2 banner because, dude, I know I'm just going to get obliterated on that banner. I'm going to get like Abigail or something. I'm not gonna get Tomoe, who is what I want, but I don't know, man. Like, I just really like Tomoe. Tomoe is one of those characters that like hasn't really done a whole lot in story, but they are just really adorable, and the Setsubun event was enough to convince me that Tomoe is just the GOAT. Absolutely loved Tomoe in that event, and I was sold ever since then. Ibuki, she probably goes somewhere in Smash. I just don't know where. Do I like her more than Musashi? I'm gonna put them relative to each other, but like they should be like this. They should be like tied. I feel like they're kind of similar to me. They're both big ladies in a certain type of way, if you get what I'm saying. But Ibuki was one of those servants that I had a complete like 180 on, because originally when she came out on JP, I was like, oh, this servant's really mean. Because I mean, look at Ibuki. She looks okay, not in this ascension, but if you look at her third ascension in her costume, she looks like a really mean person. But then as they were translating the 5.5 when it came out on JP, I was getting notes from people being like, hey, no, like, Ibuki's actually really nice. In fact, her second ascension with, like, the sweater and everything is just her being like, oh, yeah, I bought this sweater because I thought you may like it. And I was like, oh, so Ibuki is just, like, a complete sweetie pie. All right, really nice. We'll definitely take that. Same thing for Bargus. Bargus, if I would have done this, like, a month ago, Bargus would have been in, like, pass. But I am really, really growing to love Bargus. I think it's because Lost Belt 6 is just rapidly approaching on the NA version of the game, and because of that, more and more fan art is coming out, and not just like the lewd fan art, but the cute fan art, the really wholesome stuff. And the more of that comes out, I'm reminded of like what Bargus's deal is in Lost Belt 6. Not going to spoil it for anybody, but the more that I think about that, the more I'm like, yeah, we gotta like Bargus. Bargus is pretty nice. We definitely gotta take that one. Then there's Okita Alter. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I actually just do not really care for Okita Alter very much. I'm not gonna lie, I know that when she came out for, what was it, Guda Guda 3, I know a lot of people were like, dude, we finally got, like, new Okita, this is so sick, but I don't know if it's, like, the stilts or something, like, I don't hate her in story, like, I think her stories and everything are, like, kind of cute / sad / depressing, right, kind of depending on where you're at for her story, but I don't hate it. It's just, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of the design. I don't know what it is, and I think it is the stilts. Just something about that just does not vibe with me. It just does not work. And also, as I'm thinking about that, I think I actually will put her more in the 50-50 thing, because I might be able to risk going for the Valley Girl speak on a certain day. But anyway, Trunk Sisters just scare me. They just look spooky. I don't know anything about their lore. Like, I pride myself in knowing a lot about, like, Fate lore and everything. I don't know what their deal is, because I was, like, trying to look into it when they first came out and nothing was translated, and I've never gone back and tried to read it. But they just freaked me out. They just, I don't know. I don't like them. Something about when I look at them, it just off-putting. I don't like it. I don't know. There's no other way for me to put it. Just be like, just do. I don't care for it. Gareth, I kind of feel bad for because I know a lot of people like Gareth, but I myself am not really a Gareth enjoyer. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just Gareth was never like a servant that I was ever able to be like, oh yeah, that's like wifey material right there. I was just like, it's just Gareth. Like she just kind of exists. I don't really like love or hate Gareth. He's just kind of there, and so yeah, I'm just gonna pass on that one. Especially because look at our Smash section. Like it's so stacked. We've got enough. I can afford to pass on Gareth because we're pretty stacked over here. But yeah, I will leave this Smash or Pass thing in the comment section down below. I'll pin it. If you guys would like to, you could come into the Discord after you finish up your own tier list and you could send it so I could see what you guys are like. Yeah, I actually like this servant a lot. Or maybe someone's like, no, dude, you're wrong. I absolutely heckin' love Hokusai or something. I don't know, man. But yeah, with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Again, if you guys want me to do archers and start moving to the rest of them, leave that in the comments down below and leave a like and subscribe on the video. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. Late, guys.